Well, all right, my friends, I'm back. I'm back because I'm excited. I have been working off camera just like you, and I want to come on and we're going to put the finishing touches on our Babbling Brook lace sweater. I just thought, if I give you a little time to work, and then first of all, I want to show you another version just to kind of get you thinking ahead, because like I said, I believe you're going to really enjoy and like the results of what you're making. And so I started looking. That one was finished, and I started looking just to get an idea how it would look. Now, this is still in number 4 weight yarn. Someone asked me if they could use Shauna Ball or something. No, that's much too thin. The numbers that I've given is for number 4 weight yarn. Now, but sometimes some of that number, like Mandela, that's kind of thin. It's not as thick as this. This is just some old Hobby Lobby, I love this yarn, or it could have been some Red Heart or something. I just wanted to give it a try to see something else, some yarns some throwaway yarn. I was just going to get rid of it, and I thought, well, let me try it. And another thing too, remember, I wanted to get your idea or your opinion. Ta-da! All right, now here it is with the arm, just with no sleeve. And as you can see from this, I have already put the band on this one. I always like to do a extended single crochet, US American, and then this has the crab stitch, or either just crocheting backwards. Well, I could leave it like this and then put this same band, whatever, how many rows I did here on the neck, I can do it here. And that will give it a nice finish and polished look. Or what I wanted to say, because I know someone will say, well, Jay, can we put sleeves in this? Well, crocheting sleeves are my nemesis. Because I grew up in a time when crocheting sleeves back in the 70s and 80s, when we crocheted, we only had, just old yarn. You wouldn't have some of the nice stuff you can get now. We had to walk around with our arms out like this because the yarn. You remember in all the books, all the little kids had to stand there with their arms out because they couldn't let their arms out. Because the yarn was so hard. But you can use any yarn that you want, but a number 4 weight for these numbers that I've shared with you. But anyway, so let's take a look real quick. Like I said, this is the same stitch. It doesn't even look like it, does it? Just a different yarn. I mean, it's exactly the same size, same everything. And then of course the color too. And so this will give you a clue how it might look in variegated yarn, or how it may look in stripe yarn, or some hand-dyed yarn, speckly yarn, some of the hand-dyed, something like that. You just have to you have to visualize something. So this is why I thought I'd come on. And before we get started on the last step to finish up, I thought I'd just give you another look. So, on the sleeve. Alright, like I said, I'm not that crazy about crochet sleeves, but I decided, since my sleeves, when I knit or crochet sweaters, mine come over the drop type shoulder. So I didn't have to pick up a lot of stitches along. It comes almost to my elbow where you can see it on this side. So I wouldn't have to pick up very many stitches. And I just used a regular American double crochet, but I did it flat. I didn't join it in around. I started at one, at the very center, the seam under the arm, and then I'd work back and forth this direction, but I didn't join. I just crocheted it flat, and then I'm going to add, you can see I need to sew it up, add a seam there. And I thought, well, you know what? And then also, of course, then I will have to do the same trim. This needs to match. But I thought, you know what? When I was looking at it, I thought, well, this would be kind of nice to just have something that just rolls up, so I can roll this sleeve up. I got a string here because that's where I'm still working. So, what do you think of that? What do you think of that sleeve? You give me your opinion. I'm thinking just in my car, just to have it in there. I always have a sweater or something. I always keep, once the weather starts getting cooler, I always keep a little something in my car. I never know when I might get caught out or something comes up, and it's just nice to have one. Well, this will be my little car sweater. What do you think? So, you got a choice now. You can leave it the short. Now I've shown you my idea of a sleeve, and once we go to the counter and finish up the blue one, or the one, show you how to put the finishing touches, then I will demonstrate at the end how I did this little sleeve. How I just simply, did some double crochets around, back and forth, and how it's going to look. So, I can't think of anything else. I just hope you are excited. I've had so many wonderful comments, I'm telling you. Who knew? Who knew that just a little Babbling Brook stitch could cause so much excitement among my friends? Thank you so much for giving this a try. And I just know, I just believe that you're going to like the results. And now you can see how it looks in different yarns and have a choice if you want the sleeves. So, let's go over to the counter and let's get started. Back in just a minute. Alright, so now I'm back so that we can go ahead and I can tell you how we're going to put our finishing touches, put this all together. So let's just see if we're on the same page. Alright, on my little sample here, I'm running out of yarn. This is all I have, people. I didn't want to go way over there, try to find a place to park, to go buy another skein just to show. So there it is. But we had finished, we were coming up the back. I showed you how to separate, how to do the neck, how to add the extra stitch so you have a nice little neck curve. You were to work down one side, then come back up, and you remember the yarn, whatever yarn you had on this side, that you were going to simply try to match it as much as possible. So when you went on this side to pick up, now doesn't that look, now this just happened to work out dark all the way, but it could change, but doesn't it look much nicer to come across and see the same tone or vibe of the color than, say, if I had this on this side and dark blue on that side? Does that make sense? Okay, that's something, just a little tip. Alright, so now the next thing I need to share with you. Alright, so you're working down, finally you're working down this side, one side. And remember, I try to find an easy count. Some way to count so that I don't have to, because sometimes it's just hard to measure, people. Sometimes you just think, well, I thought I measured it right. No, I didn't measure right. So I share it with you, and I should have done this when we were doing the neck, but we'll know next time. Note to self, make sure you do this little, put either a stitch mark or a piece of yarn when you get ready to actually stop and do the neck. So I just kind of ran my finger back over here and put a little piece of yarn. Can you see that? Now from that, or either if you look real close, and then from there you can count up how many of these little double crochets in the group of threes. And so I counted up, and just say if you had you made it all the way to 18. Make it an even number if you can. Just keep going. Okay? Then you were to stop, come back, and then come on this side, and then you're going to match that number. But due to the nature of crochet or knitting, either one, your end number or row may be off because of this reason. I need you, when you get to the end, I've got to show in that little tail. This is just practice. I won't worry about it. I need for you to be on the row, one, the one that starts out with a single chain one, skip one, and then the 3 double crochets. Then chain 3, 3 double crochets, chain 3, 3 double crochets, chain 3, 3 double crochets, and then you'll have that chain 1, skip 1 place again. that's the row that I need you to end on. Every size, everywhere. So, due to the nature of, like I said, of knitting and crocheting, you may be, one row might be, you may have to go one extra row or something. So don't let that worry you. I'm trying to get all this on camera. Alright. Then the next thing, the next tip I gave you, or really suggest, when you, of course now we're turning, and like I said, I didn't have all the back, but we have to pretend here. We can pretend. So the back is down here, and then you get ready to sew, you get ready, and you can also pin your, you can take nice safety pins. Let's see, can I pull that over? And pin your two sides together, and then kind of try your vest on. But from my experience, especially if you're larger in the bust, if you would go at least, after you have them fairly equal, go at least 2 more rows. Just do the same 2 rows, 1 and 2 again. Or you can do it 4 times. Do row 1, row 2, row 1, row 2. Done. Go over here and do this one. Get down to where you were. You know, I had like so many, then I'd go row 1, row 2, row 1, row 2. That will give you positive bust ease at the top. And let me get the real one real quick just to kind of show you. Let's see if I can get this on camera. I'll get one side here. Because, let me see. Okay, this might look okay. Be back. Okay, so the 2 extra rows, when you get ready to sew the 2 side seams, first of all, they're going to match, because right here, see how those 2, I started and ended, I add the extra rows, and I have that single crochet, that chain 1, skip 1 right there. Well, there it is right there. So when I sew it together, I'm all on the same row. That's the first thing. The next thing, once you butt these 2 ends up together, and then you sew, however you sew your crochet or crochet your seam, whatever it is you do. You know, I'm not a professional crocheter, so I just do, I just get it sewn, okay? And even though the front may be 2 rows longer or 4 rows longer, when you butt the 2 side seams up, that pushes the front up. That pushes all that extra yarn up right here. As you come, it pushes it up towards your bust line and the top of your shoulders, and automatically you get extra ease right here in the bust and at the neck, so that your neck is not pulling and looking awkward. Does that make sense? And like I say, usually 2 extra rows works good for me, but if you are really heavy and you think you need 4, but what's the wonderful thing about crocheting, you can crochet it, don't tie it off, just pin the sides, try it on. Knitting, it's a little harder to negotiate, because you'd have to pull out and pick up stitches, and but crocheting, thank goodness, is so easy to do. But yes, you could take big pins, pin the sides, try it on, look in the mirror, see how you look. Alright, that's the reason. So now those are the tips. I hope that's clear. So you can decide on how many extra rows you need. Alright, so like I said, I did at least row 1 and row 2, just 1 extra time, just to give me that ease. Alright, so now there is, now I'm going to get the sample back. Now we are going to tackle, okay, now we need some pretty trim work. We need something to kind of set this neck off and just make it look really nice. And then we're going to crochet backwards. Now, I don't have any yarn. Like I said, I didn't want to go over there to buy some, so I'm just going to use some scrap blue yarn. And I will be coming in closer in just a minute. I will use the same hook and eye hook just to set in this nice little simple clean edge. It just cleans up everything. All right, let me change the camera and I'll be right back. Alright, so I reached into my scrap bag and I just got some little off-white yarn just so that it would show up, because the blue was just not going to show up so that you could see what I'm doing. I've turned my sweater here so that I can start on one front edge. Now, it's up to you. You can do it. You can put the edging on before you sew it up, but I'd rather have everything done, sewn up. I've tried it on. I mean, I have done everything. Main thing is, do not sew anything up. Make sure, before you make sure that you have your wrong side contrasting yarn still in place. You do not want to sew. You want to be able to have this so that you know that you're sewing the right pieces and the right sides together. So that's one of the main things before you sew. But I would sew everything up, and then I would sit and I can just sit and watch TV or something and apply this little edge. We're going to do this the extended single crochet. Or you can just do a regular single crochet. The reason I do the extended one, because of my eyesight, and if I was using this same yarn, remember, going around the edge, well, the single crochet just gets buried and I would have a hard time seeing. Now, just so that you can see it, like I said, I'm going to use this off-white and we're going to walk through. The only other suggestion I have is I did the whole sweater in this clover eye crochet hook. Well, it's a soft head, and we need to work not in any of these holes along the edge, not in the holes, but right along the very edge of the neck. Do you see that? So a lot of times I will grab up these old metal hooks, from olden days. Only because they have a nice pointy head and it can work themselves in. So this is what I always use for working my trim. I grab one of these instead of the one I worked in. Alright, I double my yarn. I just put a loop over my finger. Now watch. When I start, here's the very point of the front. Well, let me give you this little tip also. Take your hook out and go one stitch on the bottom. Just move over, and I'm under 2 strands. I know you can't see it on this dark yarn, but I'm under 2 strands. Here was the very point of the front that came to the little point. Alright, now move over 1 stitch. Alright, now I'm going to hook there. I bring both strands of yarn through, just like this, through my loop. I tighten it down. Now I'm going to drop the tail. That's just something I do. You can crochet over it or whatever. But I'm going to drop the tail and make sure I have the working yarn. Alright. Then I will chain 2. 1. Let's see, can I get in here? 1. Well. 1, 2. After I connect, I chain 2. Now I'm ready to start. Now I can put my hook into that very pointed stitch, that very point of the front. You can put your crochet hook in there, and I know now it's going to meet up really nice. Now, to do the stitch, here we go. We've done it before on the wildflower vest, but here it is again. I have two loops on the hook where I just stuck my hook in. Now, yarn over, pull through the first loop, stop. Yarn over, pull through both loops. Alright. It stands up a little higher, but not as high as a double crochet. I don't really need this, like I said, it just works great for me. Alright, so now everything else from this point on is just kind of guesstimation. You just got to guess where you need to go, but try to go up under 2 strands. Hook in. Just put your hook in the next place. Yarn over, go through the first loop, stop. You have 2 loops on the hook. Yarn over, go through both loops. Look for another place along the very edge, not in the large holes or spaces. Let me just check my camera, see if I'm on there. Okay. I didn't think about how dark this yarn is, but hopefully this white is popping out. Alright, hook in, pull up a loop, yarn over, then pull through the first loop, stop, and I tighten up. Stop, and then I yarn over, pull through both loops. Alright, I'm just kind of moving here. I'm kind of feeling my way. But I'm trying to at least go into 2 strands. You hook in, pull up a loop. You always have the 2 on the hook. Yarn over, pull through the first loop, tighten up, and stop. Yarn over, pull through both loops. See, if I tighten up on a single crochet, man, I wouldn't be able to find that stitch. I just wouldn't be able to see it. Okay, hook in, pull up a loop. Alright, yarn over, pull through the first loop, tighten up and stop. Now yarn over and pull through both loops. Alright, there's a large hole. Do not want to go in that one. Search around with your hook till you can find another place. Just a place to stay on that top edge. Alright, hook in, 2 loops. Yarn over, pull through the first loop, tighten up, yarn over, pull through both loops. Looking for the next place. See, these crochet hooks work great for me when I'm doing trim work, where I've got to pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through the first loop, and like I said, it's just a habit. I tighten up and stop. Now yarn over, pull through both loops. Now I'm going to move over. See where else I can go under. That's not 2 strands. So let me fish around. See, can I get something where there's more than just 1 strand. Alright, there we go. I got through another place. Yarn over, pull through the first loop, tighten it down, stop, then pull through, yarn over, pull through both loops. And of course, like everything else, once you get the motion, but I'm telling you, because you have muscle memory, you will automatically fall into double crocheting. You'll go like, where? And I went like, I don't know how far, and I'm like, oh man, I was doing double crocheting, because it will stand up higher. You will know if you missed it, you know, you kind of fell asleep at the wheel and you think, oh man, I got to pull back. But at least it's easy in crochet. Pull through the first loop, stop, yarn over, pull through both loops. Okay, I'm making my way up. Hook in, pull up a loop. I have 2 on the hook. Just like that. Yarn over, pull through the first loop. Tighten. Yarn over, pull through both loops. And you can really see it pop out in this light color. Where if we were just using blue on blue, you really got to pay attention to find the single crochets. But I can see these. Okay, so now we want to work around, all the way around. I would just work into all, as like I said, and it's easy when you get back here to the back because you have a nice row. See, back here in the back, you have a place, you have double crochets. But you're going to work all the way around, and I'll work on my sample, and then I will meet you on the other edge to show you how to pick up that stitch to make it match over here. We want to do the same thing on each side. Alright, so I will continue to work, and give one of these, if you have one of these old metal hooks laying around, give it a try and see how you like the point. It's a lot easier like to push this through than trying to push one of the others. Then take it through both loops. First loop and then through the neck, through both loops. Hook in, bring up a loop, yarn over, go through the first loop, stop, yarn over, go through both loops. Okay. I'll see you back in just a little bit. I'm going to work my way around. Be careful. Like I said, don't fall into double crochets. What do you think? Okay. Back in just a minute. Alright, so I've worked my way around to the opposite front edge. And sometimes I even have to go down maybe a size in my hook like I said, this yarn is dark, or if my stitches are real tight, so I'm just going down to just another one of these metal needles, hook, excuse me, and it's like a H or a G, so just so that I can get up under 2 strands. And I am still working the extended single crochet, working around till we come to the opposite end of the front edge of the sweater. I noticed that, and you may too, when I start on this side, I can get a lot more stitches. I don't know if that's it. I don't know if that's just something that's everybody's prone to do. I don't know. But I notice that in all of mine, even in my knitting, if I'm picking up stitches, when I'm picking up, I can get a lot of stitches. But by the time I get over here, I get very loose. So I, on purpose, or I, take my time and try to, if I had a lot of stitches, I'm not going to sit and count people, but, if you want, you can if you want to. But if I see that I had a lot of stitches, I can just lay the fronts kind of down and look. And if there's, if they're tight together, then I try to make this side tight like I did the opposite side, or the first side. I don't know why that is. I guess because you're right or left-handed, I guess. All right, so now you see that I'm coming down to the trying to find that pointed area to the very end. So I'm going to just keep hook in, yarn over, pull through the first loop, stop, yarn over, pull through the second. All right, I see right here I can come in, I can go up under 2 strands. You can see I've gone around my neck. Now, when I get down here, let's see, pull through 1, stop, oops, hook in, yarn over, pull through 1 loop, stop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. All right, because I started down here 1 stitch past that little pointed, or the point, so I need to go down here, pick up 1 on the very bottom, yarn over, pull through first loop, stop, yarn over, pull through the second. Now, okay. Now this is where you can decide whether you want more than 1 round of this particular stitch. You can come back, let's make sure I'm on so you can see me. Yep. You can come back all the way around doing this extended single crochet, come to this side, and then chain 2, and then start again. You can come back over here. So you can have a wider, if your neck is real wide and maybe, you need to take up some space, then maybe you do 3, you'd come around more than once. But remember, every round, every time, you're losing space in your neck. So, but on this sampling and on mine, I think I did just 1. Well, this one, I didn't do the crab stitch. On my original, I didn't get around to it because I was trying to get the video up. I can still go back and add the crab stitch if I want to, or crocheting backwards. So I did maybe 2 on here, just doing the plain extended single crochet. I did like 2, 1 down, back, and so, but I still could go back at any time and pick up some stitches, connect and do the, and crochet backwards like we're about to do now. All right, so here we go. So now I'm at the end, and now I just want to crochet backwards. And I'm going to go back to my eye hook now because I can see these stitches. I can see the holes. So I'll go back. I'll even use this metal hook. All right, so now after I do the last stitch, sometimes I forget to say this, I chain 1, 2, chain 2. Now reach back, look for the next stitch right behind it, and there it is right there. Right there. Okay, I don't know how good you can see that, but so now I chain 2. I forget that sometimes. I go backwards, go into the next stitch behind, pull up a loop, You're just doing single crochet now. You're crocheting backwards and pull through both loops, just like you normally do a single crochet. Look for the next stitch. I can see it right there. So I can see these a lot better. There it is, right there. Hook in, pull up a loop, go through 2. Just go through. You're doing single crochet. Now, what you have to do is try to keep these loose, though. I'm going to pull this back a little bit. I think I was getting too tight. I just want to make sure I do it really nice. Okay, so here we go. Real loose. Keep it loose. There we go. This yarn is splitting. Sometimes I have to pull up on the loop just to keep it loose. Now I'm looking for the next stitch, which is right there. I go backwards, go into that next stitch, pull up a loop, lift up, keep it loose, pull through both loops. I'm doing a single crochet backwards. Well, there we go. Here we go. There's the next stitch. You can see it now. See, I can see it. Going backwards into the, pull up a loop, pull through 2 loops. All right, going backwards to the next stitch. And that's what gives it that little funny, like a little funny twist, or like I said, this may not be the greatest yarn to demonstrate, but at least you can see it. Now you finally get a motion, a rhythm, once you get past the starting point. Now I'm going to move my hand in just a minute so you can see. See what a definite, oops, I hit the camera, sorry. See how that looks? What a nice edge that is. Of course, I would be using the color, and I would not be trying to match or manipulate the yarn. Whatever was on my last cake of mandala, and I put this stitch on, that's just what I would use. I wouldn't manipulate and try to get all dark or light or whatever. I just use it as it came off the cake. But I knew I couldn't demonstrate in that dark yarn, so that's why I'm demonstrating in this white, off-white. Just so that you can see. But see how much better I can see that stitch? See, I can just kind of, look at that. And if you can just keep it loose, it will flow better. Okay, now this one's getting on my nerve. I'm not used to the metal needles, so hooks. I don't know why I keep saying needles. I guess I think I'm knitting. I guess my knitting friend said, Jay, what, you left us hanging. No. Well, maybe I did, but people I had to, you won't believe. Note to self, don't ever advertise something you're going to make until you make it and see all the pitfalls. I had to redo it, and to make, I'm going to have a knit along, and I had to re-knit a lot of stuff to get it right, to get some numbers. So don't worry, it's on its way. Everything is just about done, and I'm going to go ahead and start it so that you can get started too. Just wanted to throw that out there. I don't even know if my knitters are watching this crocheting tutorial, but now I can kind of flow a little better. See, I'm used to this hook. I am just crocheting backwards like this. Wonder where did that name come from? Because when we were doing it years ago, a long time ago, we just called it crocheting backwards. So then when I started watching YouTube, I heard all people call it the crab, and I thought, oh, okay. Just like the infinity scarf started out as a tube scarf, remember? We made tube scarves. Then all of a sudden they became the infinitive scarf. Okay. Hey, that works. Now you can kind of see it, and I can flow better. I just went back to my original hook, what I'm used to. Look for that stitch. The next stitch is nice, should be large enough for you to go right into the next stitch. Look at that, I'm flowing now, because I'm on my back on my clover. Let's get a little bit of the neck. Let me just go around just a few stitches so you can see how pretty the neck is going to look. Just crocheting backwards. Okay, the neck is really easy to work because you have double crochets that you're working into, so it's not hard. Let's just see. Going backwards just like that into the stitch. Doing a single crochet backwards. I just want you to see some of the back neck, how nice it just stands up, and man, it's really pretty. Like I said, I just ran out. I knew I wasn't going to have enough, and I hate to go buy another cape. So on my original blue one, I just didn't have enough yarn to do this stitch, and I just had enough to do this demonstration, and that was going to have to be it. It's so hard to get into the Walmart now. And now they got to check your receipt for everything going out. They didn't do that. I guess they're just having it cracked down. I don't know. All right, so let's look at that. Let's see if I'm on camera, because I'm excited on this part. Look how pretty that looked. Now that's standing out because I used the white color, the off-white, but look at that neck. So, let me just switch. So now you're going to continue around, and then, of course, cut it, and pull your yarn through, and weave in any ends. You don't have to come back around, just one time around gives you that nice edge. Now, before I turn the camera, let me just switch real quick. And then I'll get set up to show you the sleeve. But I wanted to go ahead and show you this. Here's the inside, let's move everything. Now I can back way out. There we go. Okay, so now here is the one I was wearing in this video. And you can see this was some old hard yarn. I mean, this was awful. And I did, on the single crochet, I went up, around, back around, and then back up one more time. And you can see how wide it made the band. And then I did the crab stitch back. And look up, can you see the little, if I hold it up, let me see if I can keep holding it. See how it made the nice edge? Maybe hard to see with the black, but some of you too may have some of this old yarn. It's really old. And like I said, it was in my throwaway bag, and I was just going to practice. I think I was going to make an afghan. I was just wanting to practice the stitch, and lo and behold, I thought this will be perfect, like I said, to just finish and put in the car. So let me reset my camera. I'm going to come back and show you how I connect it. And I have this pin. And I just started working the sleeve just with regular double crochets. starting at the underarm seam. So you'd make sure your arms are all in the place you want it and all your little strands are weaved in, and I will be back in just a minute. Alright, so I'm back and I am ready to show you how to, the little sleeve that I came, like I said, me and crochet sleeves are not that friendly. But anyway, I think you'll like this. So here's, now I know it's going to be kind of hard to see, but I'm just, you know how to crochet, and I think you'll be able to follow me just fine. You'll get the idea, the gist of it. So here's my sleeve, my arm space open. I've already sewn up the side, and well, I got a little thing there, but I've sewn in my little ends up to this arm space, and I measured against the other one and see, try to make them as equal as possible. Alright, so we've done all that, and then right here in the very bottom, you see where, where the seam is sewed up. That's the center of the, under your arm right there. Well, I'm just going to simply go here up under 2 strands, and I'm going to attach my yarn by looping it over my hook. Let's see if that's too far away. No, I think you can see it. I want to move the camera. Pull it through and then pull both strands through that loop. Then I tighten up. You can connect however you connect. I tighten up, I drop that tail, and I have the working yarn now. And I'm going to, we're just doing American double crochets. So I'm going to chain 1, 2, 3. Right there in that first stitch where that seam comes together, right up under the center arm. Alright, now listen. The chain 3 is going to be my post. It's going to be the post. We need a post on this end, and then when we go around the arm space to the other side, we need a post over there. So, on the other sleeve, I was able to get 46 double crochets, so I'm hoping I can match it on this side. Plus the 2 posts made it 48. I don't need a lot of stitches because, my sleeve, I tell you again, comes so far down close to my elbows, so it's not like picking up at the shoulder where you've got to have a lot of stitches. So I was able to, I thought, well, 46 seemed to work. Alright, so that chain 3, that's my post. Now go back into that same space, that same where you just put the chain 3. Here comes the first double crochet right there. 1 double crochet. So now I have a post and 1 double crochet coming out of that same place. Now I start just double crocheting, just kind of eyeballing it. Like I said, I need to get 46 to match the other side. So let's see, 20 something, 23 something, okay. So I can just I'm just doing regular double crochets, going up under. So if I can get 23 something up to the top of the shoulder up here, and then work that same number around here, I should have 46, and then I'll make a post when I get to the other side too. Alright, so I'm just kind of working here, and it may be trial and error, and I may have to take it out. I don't even know how I came with that 46. I think I did it 3 times before I felt that number was good, and it didn't make this look ruffly or bunched up, or if I had too many. So, you see, I'm just doing double crochets around, taking my time. We will not be knitting in the round. We will not be crocheting in the round. We're just going to crochet it flat and then do a seam. So here I go. Just doing a standard American double crochet. Now you may have you may have a better sleeve, one that you do on lots of different projects. If that will work for you, that's fine. We're just trying to put in a sleeve since, like I said, I don't usually do it. But on this one, because I just throw away yarn. It's a beautiful sweater to put in my car. Oh, I can't wait to wear this one. The ugly duckling becomes the saving, oh, we must be doing double crochet. Stop talking, Jay. Gonna just make this whole project just, oh, Jay, under 2 strands. Okay, I'm gonna have to go to my, I got to pull out the big guns. I got to go to these big old-timey metal hooks. I got to go to the old-timey metal hooks. Well, I tell you another thing, man, I have not worked in black and I don't know when. It is, it's something that I wouldn't want to do very often. I did it on this one. Wow. Alright, so now you see I'm just doing double crochets. I will go around and try to count and see so that I can meet you back as I get near the end on this side of the arm space. Alright, that's just saving my eyes and saving yours. I can turn on a big light, a bright light, and then I can go ahead and work around. Alright, so we'll continue to work around, and I'll be right back. Yes, I had to pull mine out about two times to try to get it even on each side. So now I'm coming up to the last 3 double crochets to make it around so that my sleeves, do one more right there. Okay. All right, now I got one more to make. Oops. Alright, so now I'm back at the seam, the underarm seam right there. You can see it now really kind of pop out. Can you see that? I think you can. Alright, so I'm going into the last double crochet, and then I'm going to add a post. So I do the last double crochet right there near the seam. Let's see, can I go over a little bit? I think I need to go over just. See, can I get up under this stitch? It's quite tight. And I know with this particular yarn, you know, it's not as clear, but actually most of you crochet more than I do, so. So there's the last double crochet right there. You can see my finger and you can see the double crochet. Now in that same stitch, put another double crochet to make the post. So in the last one you have 2 in the same stitch. So now I have 2 when I started. So that makes a post and then a double crochet. I end with a double crochet and then I do 1 extra stitch in that same place to make a post. Now I simply chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Now guess what? We're going to work back and forth. Now I've got to turn all of this, and I'm not going to do a whole lot on camera, but I just want to turn it. We're not connecting. See, I'm going to leave that seam open right there. It's going to be open so that it will make, so that I will be able to sew it together. So once I turn, now watch, that chain 3 of course becomes a post, and then I go into the next double crochet. Now I can switch back to my clover where I can really, it's nice and smooth. See, it goes through. So now I'm going to crochet. See, I pull a little yarn here. I'm going to crochet around this sleeve again. I'm going to go around, double crochet in the last one and into the post here, chain 3, go around this direction. And I did that because I was running out of yarn. I went 18 rows. I really wanted to go more than that, you know, maybe 24 rows, but I was scared. I was playing yarn chicken. So I went, at least for me, I had 18 rows going back and forth. Nothing is connected. When you get through, you're going to have a long piece of fabric that we will have to seam like that. See it? Alright, So now I need you to work the sleeve, and then we'll come back and I can just kind of walk you through it and show you the other sleeve that I went ahead and finished off camera. So I'm going to go ahead and work a little bit and come back, and then we'll talk and see where we are and give you the last finishing steps. Working back and around, back. Alright, back in just a minute. Okay, so here is, I just did a few rows off camera so that we can talk, and then I can just show you the end results. So I've done just going crocheting flat. See, it's not connected. And as I shared, I believe I did 18 rows. Just back and forth, because like I said, I was running out of yarn and I was trying to get done. So now I have this nice sleeve that I simply need to, when I reach my number of rows that I want, then you'd simply just seam up, just like you regularly do a regular seam. See that? I'd put those two together and seam it up. However you seam up your side, you'd seam up the sleeve. So now let me jump over to this side to show you the end results on this sleeve, the sleeve that I have done. Okay, so now we've gone over how, I demonstrated how I did the extended single crochet. You could do just a single crochet, whichever you prefer. I sew up the sleeve seam first. Just sew it all the way up and make sure it's connected, that there's no gap right here up under the arm. Just sew it up nicely, just like you regularly do. Then I'd come here at the seam, and I would connect my yarn, and I would start the extended single crochet. And I'd go around all the way around one time till I come to this side. And then, of course, I would connect it, chain two, then I would start the crab stitch, and if you look really careful, you can see the little edging, the little beaded. That's what it does. It gives a little beading texture on the edge. That's what it gives. That makes it so. It reminds you a little bit of picot, but it's like a little beaded effect. But I would start here, and then, of course, crochet backwards all the way back around, and then connect it and pull my yarn through, cut it and pull it through, and then take a yarn needle and the tail, and make sure it's secure, and then weave it into the seam of the sleeve. Look at that. So that's my little idea of a sleeve. Just when you pick up, though, you don't want to pick up so many stitches. You see, nothing is ruffly or it's not tight. It just fits real nice. And like I said, my number, I had 46, and when you add the 2 extra stitches for the post, it turned out to be 48. All right, if your arm's a little heavier than mine, my arm is not very heavy right here, but if your arm is wider, you could try 50 stitches. You could say, okay, I'm going to put 25. Look, I'm going to go 25 up to about where the shoulder and 25 down. And then, of course, you add the 2 extra stitches for the post. So 50 becomes 52. So you don't need a whole lot of stitches, like I said, because we're way down here almost to our elbows. And then, of course, once you put this nice little trim on it, you can wear it down like this. So my sleeve is like a bracelet length. If I leave it just like this, it comes right here, and I can still wear my turtlenecks with the long sleeves and my bracelets or whatever. But if I do want to roll it up, that edging, look at that. This was throwaway yarn, people. I pulled it back out of the junk bag. I don't even think I was giving it to the Goodwill. I think I was just going to throw it out, chunk it. I had had it so long, and it just looked, every time I looked at it, I thought, why because it feels like it needs to be a rug. I mean, it's just that heavy, but I'm telling you, this sweater. I am going to love wearing it and having it in the back of my car so that I'll always have something as the weather changes. So, I think you're going to get a lot of wear, and of course you can decide from the blue one to this one. And of course, yeah, like I said, I could go back if I wanted to get more yarn, and of course I can add sleeves to the blue one. But I'm quite happy with the blue one like it is. It's going to be my go-to. It is still, I know it's almost October, but it is still in the 90s here. So I really don't need to add sleeves or anything. This is just fine for me doing my errands, like I say, to the Walmart, Joann's, post office, whatever. I just put on my little vest, put on my little capri pants, and I'm off. I can't wait to see all the different colors and your different ideas, because I can see some of you right now saying, oh Jay, I have some yarn, I've been waiting, trying to find something to do with it. Now I can use it, and not only use it, but look at the pretty project you'll have at the end. Well, I'm glad you joined me. I hope you like Jay's Babbling Brook lace sweater. Short sleeve or with the added sleeves. And please send me some pictures. Send me 2 or 3 pictures, so I can see all the different colors. I want to do a Thanksgiving special, for anyone who can get some projects finished before Thanksgiving. I'd like to do a Thanksgiving, friendship album special, and I'd like you to be a part of it. So right after this part of the video, right at the end, you'll get the information where to send. And I always send at least 2 or 3 pictures. Take them from, hang it up. Now hang your picture somewhere, so your sweater or something somewhere, so we can really see it. Front, back, it's hard to see it if there's a lot of background stuff. So just kind of put it somewhere so that it pops out and we can see it. Because I want people to see what my friends have made. This is Jay, and this is Jay's Knit and Purl Jam. I thank you so much. I'm telling you, we make a great team, don't we? So until next time, I'll see you. Bye.